let me ask you this: have you paid attention, Woody?
Who
have
you
you paid
asking?
attention? You. Have you paid attention to the Trump trade stuff that's been announced, say in the last 5 to 6 days? Because I've heard a couple things. I heard that the Saudis or the Qataris, I don't remember which, agreed to like some $200 million deal. They're buying like 86 Boeing jumbo jets. And then I also saw the framework, or the idea for a framework that might be in position at some future date. It's that horse shit for the UK tariff situation. And Reddit was ripping on the Trump administration for the UK deal. They're like, look at this. He turned it from this to that. And they're like, and I have to search by controversial. And one guy's like, hey, it was 10% before and now it's 2.8%. That's a gain for us, not a loss. Like it seemed like the framework for the UK thing was that they would have a 2.8% tariff on us and we would put a 10% on them, and they signed off on that.
They did. Yeah, we won that battle.
I must be misinformed. I thought it went from 2.8% to 10, but maybe I have it wrong. I know there was some little deals in, like they opened their market to our beef, provided that our beef meets their standards, which none of it does. Yeah. So 2% of our beef is grown without hormones, I read. Yeah. So it's a fake opening.
And that's the fancy beef. Yeah, well, I mean, well, the beef thing for sure is a fake one, unless that they can
it just incentivizes better beef if they now have a new market to sell to.
No, we're not going to
financially tenable.
If you stop giving the cows hormones, then you end up making net less money, even though you opened up the UK market to yourself, because you have so much less beef. I'm fine with us pumping the hormones and the stuff. I see
free
chicken.
tea.
I see chicken at the grocery store that'll be like, no antibiotics, no this, no that. Dude, when my dad grew chickens, we were pumping them full of antibiotics all the time. Anytime they were sick, gallons of it rolling through the chicken house in their water.
What did your dad do? Did he turn eggs into little chickens and then move
little chickens into big chickens? And
little chickens into big chicken. Okay.
And then those got slaughtered for meat, for things like lean cuisines and stuff like that. They use a certain type of chicken and a certain size of chicken for various things.
So someone else turned eggs into little chickens. You got those and turned them into.
So the company itself in-house they have a hatchery. And so they turn eggs into little chickens, and then they murder all the, maybe it's all the males or all the, they murder a huge amount of them. They grind them up. And then
that's pretty fucked.
Where chicken nuggets come from?
I wish
it turns them into really.
Yeah, it's one embarrassment after another. I hope these trade deals are like they suggest they are. I hope that thing with the UK is what it looked like, and that we had just bent them over a barrel.
We already had a surplus with them.
A trade surplus, but I don't know what that number is. How that number is even relevant, right? It's about.
I guess you're right.
Those are the numbers he uses, and it's like, why do you even care about that? Like, of course, Estonia imports less than It's got some weird.
The goal is to make a market that is more easy.
The disparity is irrelevant. It's about it's about the hurdles to get into that market, to get our products into their markets and vice versa. And it seemingly he had lowered the hurdles for American products to get into the UK and raised the hurdle for UK products to get into America. Which is bending them over a barrel, if that's accurate. But I had such a hard time finding out if it was accurate or not. I gave up because the left thing is screaming foul.
I saw an article from the BBC that said that, and I thought that was kind of reliable. And they were saying what you said about the tariff change.
Well, see, there's no deal signed.
No deal signed.
Which is why I was a little less interested in getting into the details. They announced the concept of a plan. Fine.
We have a framework for an outlook for a concept of a plan that may or may not. Get the fuck out of here. Tell me when it's the fight is signed. Don't talk to me about who you might hypothetically fight, how much you're going to get paid when you hypothetically fight that person, how much we're going to love you when you beat them up. I don't want to hear that, motherfucker. Sign the line that is dotted.
Do we export a lot of ethanol?
You would imagine.
I don't know. We make a lot.
I know we make a lot of that.
You'd think we'd be really good at making it. We make corn better than most.
We really do. Big pat on the back for us.
Yeah, we're good at that.
We make that corn. We ethanolize it or whatever fucking process.
Hats off to Monsanto. Thank goodness for them.
Big shout out to Monsanto.
They're nothing but good, those people.
Yeah.
Bayer Monsanto. Bayer bought Monsanto. Now they're the evil guys in the room. Monsanto was a terrible, terrible, evil corporation.
That can't be true. They were a St. Louis corporation.
Yeah, they make Roundup. Roundup's the most effective herbicide that you can imagine. It kills anything you spray it on. Also causes cancer. Wink, wink, nod, nod. And so what they did was they developed crop seeds, corn, wheat, soybean, that can just shrug off Roundup. So now, instead of having to use some specialized herbicide that's just for this plant or just for that plant, this weed that's in your crop field, you just nuke the whole field with Roundup, and your corn loves it. Corn doesn't mind it because it's Monsanto corn. Mm-hmm. But if your neighbors, you have to buy that seed from Monsanto. And the people who say don't buy the Monsanto seed, we're going to stick with our regular seed and farm like we've always farmed here. Well, pollination doesn't work that way. So the Monsanto corn pollinates your normal corn, and all of a sudden you've got bootleg kernels. And Monsanto is going to sue you because you're growing Monsanto corn over there.
It really is unfathomably.
Oh, wait, you're a generational farmer with $200,000 to your name and like leverage like so much debt you can't imagine that a regular farmer has that much. Good luck in court. We've got a team of lawyers. We're Monsanto. You know, you're dealing with $1 billion corporation against some old guy running a corn farm.
That's
evil.
So fucked up.
Evil incarnate.
Yeah, that is fucking evil. And like, I've heard that the seeds they sell, they don't have like normal germination, like repeat germination process. And so it's like, we made these seeds that will germinate once, and then you can sell this. And then after that, you got to come back to daddy.
The good news is next year we'll sell you more.
Next year we're going to sell you more. And also we're going to sell you all the, what's the shit that's like horrible? The glyphosate or whatever chemical it is you have to spray to keep all the nonsense away.
Glyphosate or something? Something close to that.
Something like that. And it's like,
I was drenched in that as a kid.
Horrible for us. That's one of those things that like Europe is like,
it's okay. You can beat cancer.
You can beat cancer. You've defeated.
That's probably what caused it the first time. We would spray Roundup everywhere around our buildings, around, everywhere. And I'd run a backpack sprayer. I'd run a wand sprayer on a tractor with 250 gallons of it coming out with a PTO powered. Fuck no. We didn't own a mask.
What is he, gay?
You must have owned a mask because you did painting.
Yeah. Well, those are like special painting masks. Like you wouldn't want to wear that rubbery thing around your face in the summer walking around. Like that'd be super gay looking. It's a bunch of rednecks. Like they made fun of me for wearing gloves. Like it's.
Really?
They made fun of you?
Oh yeah. Get the gloves off so you can work. Because the gloves are getting your way. You're doing some stuff. Get the fucking gloves off. So
I have when I got my tractor and got all farm ready, I bought the deerskin gloves because I figured that's what farmers wore. I didn't know I was being so gay. I never bought gloves at all.
I can tell just by looking at my grandpa's hands that he was not a glove man.
Nope.
Just gigantic sausage fingers with scars and shit all over it. And it's like, oh, okay. This is probably because his dad said he was gay if he wore gloves.
I was on Reddit and I saw twin brothers, but one of them became, I don't know, something awesome like an accountant, and the other became a farmer. And they showed their hands next to each other, identical twins. The farmer's hands were just meaty, like muscle was packed into every little bit of that hand, and the accountant's hands were gentle.
They were lithe, like a violinist. A debutante's hands. Yeah, that is crazy. I remember thinking that as a little kid. I was like, why the fuck are grandpa's hands so fucking massive? Like, why are they so like gnarled and thick? And it was because he was fucking raising cattle and getting a lot of damage done to him on his father's farm.